Welcome. I've been talking already for 3 or 4 minutes, but it looks like we just went live. So I want to welcome you to a new thing live where we have something new every Monday. This is a brand new show, and my name is Cindy Galley. I have the honor and the privilege of hosting this fun show where really something new happens on our show, on our end every week. But this show is going to be so amazing. We have some powerhouse leaders, entrepreneurs, business owners. So I'm so glad that you're here. Hey, this is an interactive show. So make sure that no matter where you're joining from, you're letting us know, I'm coming from blank. I'm from, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, we want to know, but we want to thank you so much for joining. If this is your first time, I'm super glad that you're here. So yeah, it's already the 19th of April. And I just cannot believe we're already going into May, but this has been a pretty emotional week globally. Of course, we're still, going head to head with the pandemic, and just prayerfully praying that people are getting better and that those cases are going down. But, some people are on the fence about vaccinations, and right now, wherever you're at, I just feel like whatever you feel in your heart, you need to do that. Don't be persuaded by people. If you don't have a piece about something, then check that out. Like, what's that all about? And then I also want to say, just because you've been vaccinated doesn't mean that if you've been exposed to somebody maybe that has the virus, you still have to take all the precautions. And I know I'm a little bit on the other side, wearing the mask. If people come over, even my dearest and nearest, I will ask them all the questions. Do you have a fever? How are you feeling? Are you coughing? Do you have a sore throat? I ask all the questions, and there's no shame. Like, don't let anybody shame you, whether you're wearing a mask, whether you got vaccinated or not. This is something that we're all in this together, and it's the first time we've ever been here at this place. But just be sure, be considerate of others. If you know you have COVID, I'm asking you on behalf of the world, stay home and quarantine until that test comes back negative. I have already lost a few individuals, 3 to be exact, in my life to COVID. And a really dear friend, he was here on the show. He was in a coma and he was intubated for almost 2 months. Due to COVID. And so for some people, they're saying, hey, I have no symptoms, or I'm feeling really good, but just be mindful of others, because this pandemic is not all about you. So just wanted to give just a heartfelt love out to Oklahoma. Today marks the anniversary of the National Oklahoma City bombing. And that was a difficult time for the state of Oklahoma. So, let's just continue not to only keep Oklahoma, but also our United States of America. Let's just keep us in prayer. And, it seems like yesterday when we had that grave attack on 9/11, but I lived in Oklahoma, so for me, I really care about that state, but every state. Like, if you're a state in the United States of America, then we want to let you know we're going to rally around you regardless of whether we've lived there or not. So just our heart goes out to Oklahoma today in remembrance. And even just speaking of prayers, continue to lift up Queen Elizabeth. This weekend, I'm sure, was very hard for her and the royal family. They said goodbye to Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, and it was very emotional. I watched some of the shorter versions. I really wanted to watch the live, but I just don't have the time. I barely have the time to dye my hair. Like, if y'all could see right now, like, I've got this little spray thing going on. So if I don't have time to dye my hair, I really didn't have the time to watch the entire service. But I, throughout the day, wherever I could, I would, see, well, what's going on with NBC. And then a dear friend of mine sent me, an abridged version with BBC. And so just continue to pray and lift up the royal family. Just so interesting, now Prince Charles is kind of stepping up into this transitional role of being a transition, like a king in transition, but the queen gonna stay till her last breath. She gonna stay the queen. And so we want to keep praying for her. We want to keep declaring and saying, long live the queen and God save the queen. She's not the queen of the United States of America, but I do have a huge huge place for her in my heart, as I'm sure many of you do as well. So continue to keep them all in your prayers. It was a beautiful ceremony, and I do believe that Prince Philip was truly honored in having all of his family there. But now, just kind of switching gears a little bit, this upcoming Sunday is going to be another huge number, but it's 93. And do you know what that is? It is the 93rd Oscars is this Sunday. I can't even believe that they've been around for that length of time. So if you are into the movies and you're into the Oscars and you love watching the red carpet, I don't really know how much red carpet there is or isn't going to be. I know there will be some because I've been receiving some information in my email regarding it. So it seems like, but I don't know to what degree with the COVID regulations. But, you know, it's just kind of nice to tap into something that is annual and just to kind of have a little bit of that feeling of, okay, this feels good and I'm in a safe place right now. So don't forget to tune into that. We will be having some on the back end, kind of talking about the fashion, because I do like seeing what walks down the red carpet and who's wearing what. Now, this Thursday, if you are a parent, you're going to want to tune up to this. You know, when I grew up, I want to say that there was a little bit of that teaching of how to save money. But I want to say there wasn't a whole lot of that for me. So it kind of carries over and bleeds into your adulthood, which isn't always the greatest thing. But this Thursday for you parents is National Teach Children to Save Day. That's this Thursday. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that next week we will have a special guest who that is what they do. That is what they feature. I know that there's a really good friend of mine in their ministry. They've been on A New Thing Live before. They have a character called Money Mike that teaches children how to save. So I'm hoping that Money Mike will be here. But if not, I know at some point Money Mike will be here. But this is a great opportunity. If you've never taught your kids to save, why not start this year? Why not start this week? So this Thursday, National Teach Children to Save Day. And hats off to you parents that have been doing it. I know my birth dad, my biological father, I know he tried throughout the years, but he didn't directly raise me every day. And, you know, I think I got my mom's genes. She loved to shop and she loved her makeup and getting her hair done and all that good stuff. So I definitely run in that vein and inherited that habit, but I love it. So thank you, Mom, for that. And thank you, Dad, for trying. So hopefully, I think the older I've gotten, I've come to understand now a little bit more, but it's something I really wish that I would have grabbed a hold of when I was a lot younger. So anyway, take heed to that, parents. And then we're coming to an end. You know, we haven't mentioned it this whole time because there's been so much going on. But this month is National Jazz Month. What? So we wanted just to share some of our favorite artists with you. We opened up a Spotify account. What? So happy about that. I'll tell you my favorite. Ella Fitzgerald, Dinah Washington, Sarah Vaughan, and then some of the newers. I love me some Harry Connick Jr. Go to his concerts, at least would go when we were having concerts at the Hollywood Bowl. That man could sing, and he just has a beautiful voice. And of course, we've got Louis Armstrong. Of course, we like that Frank Sinatra. And even going back to a little bit back to that older big band time. So Tony Bennett, of course. So we're going to continue to add to our Spotify playlist. But yeah, let us know. Put in the comment, like, who are some of your favorite jazz artists? We want to go ahead and incorporate them into our playlist as well. And just put your shoes up and take a day, an hour, 30 minutes just to put on some jazz and just listen to the sounds of just those beautiful, beautiful tunes, that saxophone, those fun rhythms. I mean, it's just very soothing. So for those of you that like the elevator jazz, I'm not going to judge. That's not the kind of jazz I'm talking about. But if that suits your boat and that's what floats your boat, then go ahead for it. Jazz is jazz. So just go ahead and enjoy the rest of National Month of Jazz. And so since we are talking about music, they say that babies can start kicking to music as early as 0 to 6 months old. And I believe it. Have so many friends that in their pregnancies, they'd say, oh, the music was going and my baby just starts like twirling, or even during prayer or during worship at church, the baby just starts moving. And I just know the babies can feel those vibrations and there's already that response to the rhythm and the beat. But as far as dancing goes, let's see, anywhere from 14 to 18 months. And don't you just love it when you see those little babies, you hear the music and the baby's already kind of crouching up and down. No one's taught them how to dance. They haven't had any dance lessons, but they feel in that beat. Such a precious and special thing. Well, tonight's first guest, I'm sure her mom can attest that that was the case for her as well. This girl has moves that I can only dream of. And I'm pretty sure she entered into this world dancing already, like out of the womb and already dancing. But that's exactly what she did in season 2 of the World of Dance. She danced her heart out until they won, and we fell in love with her. Would you welcome tonight our very first guest, Ms. Victoria Hernandez. Victoria! Hello!
Hello. I just want to sorry, I have a bunch of little siblings, so if you hear crying or anything in the back, I'm so sorry about that. Hi, I'm so happy to be here. Yeah, I'm like, oh no, not the siblings. I can hear them running up and down the stairs. I was like, yeah,
good, because we just celebrated National Siblings Month and Day. So, hey, we're all about it. I'm glad that we can hear them in the back. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Yeah, I've been doing really good.
Well, it's so good to have you here and so good to see you.
Thank you.
Girl, it's been a while since we've actually ever just been able to connect. But I'm so glad that you happen to be here this particular episode, because we have all kinds of fun stuff planned. But first, I want to talk a little bit about your career, talking a little bit about, the gift of dance that was given to you. How old were you that you can remember that you started like having this desire to dance?
Yeah, so as far back as I can remember, and I know my parents will say otherwise, because I did, the whole toddlers and ballet shoes gig. I did that, but as far as I can remember, where I kind of made a choice of like, hey, I want to dance and this is something I'm interested in. I was in first grade going into second. Yeah, I was in first grade, and this was around the time that dance show ABDC was on, America's Best Dance Crew. Jabberwockies had just won, and I watched all their episodes. And I remember just like watching them on the TV and like wanting to copy them. They would do this one move. They're like move their neck like that. And I was like, I have to know how to do that. Coincidentally, like literally that week, they were passing out like extracurricular activities that your parents can put you in. And I saw hip hop on there. I saw the little dance symbol guy next to it. I said, is that dance? Yeah, that's dance classes. All right. I'm telling my mom I want to go to that. So I told her, and they threw me in dance classes, and I just never left.
Yeah. Wow. That is so impressive. It's so interesting, like just watching even some of your videos this week. And of course, like I just think you're a phenomenal dancer. We'll talk a little bit about the lab as well. But I was just thinking, how God already gives us whatever it is that we need to be able to do what he's calling us to do. Mm-hmm. So here you have this desire. You're already so young, 6 years old, but girl, you can move. I mean, the way you isolate your body. I go, what in the world? I'm always in awe of what the body can do, first of all, because my body don't do that. It doesn't do that. And I remember, yes, I have a little rhythm, took tap, took ballet. I remember being in college and I was a cheerleader. So of course, have a little bit of the rhythm, like, that kind of thing, but I remember being cast into a video. It was a song called Catch Me, I'm Falling by a group called Pretty Poison. This was back like in 88. And this shoot took place in LA. It was a video shoot. It was like a one-hit wonder. But the choreographer was one of the actors in the movie Fame. He was a dancer in the movie Fame. And so he was the one choreographing this dance. And he was doing the Cabbage Patch, and I was like, oh no. Yeah.
Yeah, I know the Cabbage Patch.
I do that. I was like, kind of like this and kind of like that. But I was an extra. I was not a dancer. There was like probably 12 dancers, and then 5 of us were cast as extras, just to dance and be, heads in the back, bopping around to the music. But literally, he stopped in the middle of his doing the counts and everything. He looked at me and he was like, and he's Puerto Rican. He goes, "What nationality are you?" I was so embarrassed. And I said, "I am Black and Mexican." And he was like, "And you can't do the Cabbage Patch."
Oh no, got called out.
Called out, little intimidated movie extra in the back that was just there to dance and
live.
So I mean, really, I've tried since then, girl. I do not have that in me. I cannot, the neck kind of thing, Yeah. But even that isolation, I mean, God gifted you to be able to isolate. And, we do have some videos and whatnot. We're actually going to take a quick look at maybe 30 seconds of a video that we found on your Instagram. And I don't think the little clip that we're going to show doesn't take us all the way back, but you are so cute. You're still much younger, and then it takes a little bit through to more recent. So let's go ahead and show that clip real quick.
I was ashamed, my crew was lame. I had enough heart for most of them, long as I got stuff for most of them soft. Even when I was wrong, I got my point across. They depicted me the boss. Of course, my orange box cutter make the world go round. But some ain't my homegirls now. Start stacking, dabbled in packing. Nickname Medina, make the scenes, took my Nina. From gym class to in-glass, passed off for global. The only with a mobile. Can't you see like total? Getting larger and wasting taste. Ain't no telling where the spelling is headed.
Woo! Girl! I'm watching, I'm like, doing my little thing over here. But you are such an incredible dancer.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes. So I know that even though you've had this gift, talk to us about what it's like to work hard at something that you're passionate about. Because I know you didn't go from that cute little girl doing her little, what was that? Is that the rerun? Or I don't really know what.
It was just like, that was I really don't know what it is, just choreography.
Yes.
That was a silly part of our dance. And that's why I was up there, because I was like, if there was a class clown, I was definitely like a team clown. So that's why I was up there doing that. I don't know what I was doing, but
so cute. But then clearly when you see you dancing on stage on the World of Dance, you clearly know what you're doing there.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. Funny.
Go ahead.
Say I hope I know what I'm doing. Our last performance on World of Dance, our very last routine, because on our last episode we did 2 routines, and the last one, I don't know what happened till this day. I do not remember doing any of the moves. I completely I had a trick in the beginning. I had to throw somebody. As soon as I threw that person, I swear I got off the stage and I told my partner, I said, I do not think I did the choreography. I said, I think I just stood back there. I really don't remember doing the dance that I think I blanked out, passed out. And she was like, no, you did it. I was like, no, I swear I don't think I did it. And I literally went, because the show was filmed probably about 8 months prior, 8 or 6 months prior. And so for 8 or 6 months, I was literally like every day I'm like thinking, I'm like, I did not do that dance. It's gonna air and I'm just gonna be standing there, or like what? Like I was fully I fully considered that I did not do the dance, but convinced myself. Then it turns out I did do it. I was like, oh, I did do it. But when adrenaline's rushing, like literally, I thought I passed out. But yeah.
Wow. I wonder what that was. Maybe it was
No idea.
a little bit of like that energy, the excitement. And then I'm sure you practiced like hours on end. How many hours would you practice a day? Because you were on there 2 different seasons. I remember falling in love with World of Dance, actually season 1. And you guys already, I was like, oh man, these kids are bad. Like, I just loved you guys so much. And then the twins, Les Twins.
Yes.
They were so, I remember standing up and yelling at the TV. Because sometimes I'll get crazy like that.
Yeah.
How long did you have to rehearse as a crew? I don't know if that's the correct term, but as a crew to even get to the World of Dance. And then once you're there, how long were you practicing? Season 1, season 2, you came back and you won. So what was that like the second time around? Talk to us a little bit about that.
So there is a lot of work that goes into any competition that I've ever been a part of, but I can say this for, other teams too. There's a lot of work that goes into it. However, the lab, and I've been on many teams. I've been on, I think, 6 different dance teams throughout my dance career. All great teams. Very like, what is the word I'm looking for? Like rugal, I think that's the word, or like rural. Yeah, like very strict in what we do and how we train. But the lab was by far the hardest training that I ever endured or took part in. Just very passionate. When you go to the lab, they really do make you find why you're passionate about dance, what exactly you're passionate about dance. So with that being said, whatever you're passionate about, they're going to push you to your full limits, right? And so with that, we would practice, hours on hours. There's an appropriate amount I can say, then there's probably something I shouldn't say. But we would practice, our regular days, I consider like a 10-hour practice day, like a walk in the park. And there were definitely longer than 10-hour practice days.
Wow.
But, so I consider that a walk in the park. But I consider it also just like, those are the days that I obviously don't miss, but I do miss because it really does like push you mentally, physically, obviously, and emotionally too. It just really like takes that out of you and say like, why am I doing this? What's the bigger purpose behind this? And for me, that was because I know this is something that God gave me. And if God gave it to me, if he supplied it, then I need to use it to my best ability and to go ahead and push through, right?
Yes.
So, but the training for the lab was very, very rough. We did, conditioning. We always started our day with conditioning or training or drilling some kind of, whether it was a trick, it was a move, cleaning, right? So we would all make sure we're all in sync. And cleaning for us is like an art form, like your arms like here, and it's supposed to be here, or it's supposed to like slightly turn. Like we make sure every single part, is clean. And then we go through, the endurance portion of practice where we're continuously running it. And then, and it just goes on and on. But from the first season, I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so little, right? I was the oldest, but I was like, oh my gosh, you're still so young. I think I was probably like 16. Yeah. But all the little ones are like my little brothers and sisters. And so now I'm 20. And so they're like right up there with me. And it's so crazy to be like, oh my gosh, you were like a whole like 2 feet down, like when we started this journey. And so, from the first season, we trained hard. But I just think mentally we weren't ready for that.
Mhm.
We're just little kids and we're still finding out like why we're doing this without being told to do it. Why do we want to go to the studio? And I think from that time when we got off the show, which was the 3rd episode, from that moment all the way to when we found out, hey, they're going to do a 2nd season, we've been invited to come back, is that something you want to do? And we all said, yeah, like, let's do it. And so we knew that it was going to require more training, it was going to require bigger tricks, it was going to require longer hours, but we were all prepared for that, and we made the decision as a team, and that did require longer hours, more intense training, but it was fun, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
I love that. And, obviously all of your parents are probably, majority are huge supporters of, each one of you pursuing your dreams. Otherwise, how could you all have been able to practice as rigorously and as hard as you did? But definitely, I mean, to see you guys come back, and then, I mean, like, you killed it. I don't remember which season it was, and maybe it was you, it was somebody that did a little thing like coming over the rest of the group in the middle, but then everybody stood up the same time the person in the middle came up. And I remember just Derek like standing up and throwing something down. He was like, what? I mean, you guys, you pulled out all the stops, and just so amazing, again, what the body can do. And I think, if we could understand that we really have just that ability in us to push ourselves harder than we even realize or think or imagine. Like mentioned, being in cheer, I remember going to cheerleading camp, and it's not the same as being in World of Dance, but we kept doing our routine over and over and over, probably 6 hours. I remember sobbing, crying, because my body hurt so bad, and the way that we had to keep falling. And you're right, like, everything had to be perfect. Like, one little couldn't be out here. No. Everyone is hit right here. And so I even look at things like that now, but I can't even, and I was a young adult. And even then for me, it was so hard, just to keep pushing myself. And then I start gagging and all these weird things start happening. So I just say, truly, it's what God has gifted you and called you to do. But I feel like, each one of us has the capacity of doing that in our own lane, in the very individual thing that God has given each, whether it's a business or leading, being a leader, being a teacher, being a dancer, being an athlete. I feel like we all have that drive in us to push hard and to go far, giving it our very, very best.
Yeah.
So just so beautiful. And you talked about being in sync. And that was one of the questions that I had was, how difficult was that? Because the group in sync, but they were not in sync anything like what you guys were doing and pulling out, on both of those seasons that you were on there. And again, I love that scripture that says a man's gift makes room for himself. I mean, the gift of dance is in you. And I think it could be so easy for someone to dismiss and go, well, that's just a real, no, that's a real thing. And that's a real calling. And I've seen your drive. I've seen your commitment. I've seen your heart. Together we went to Peru. And I actually do have a really quick video because you were up there teaching 300 people, like ages 8 or even 6, all the way up to ages like 75, and you were so committed to teaching us how to dance. And so I want to show that real quick video of her teaching us how to dance.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just listen to the lyrics when you're doing it, and you'll.
And I love that, because here you're using your gift, teaching us these steps that, oh my goodness, for you probably a breeze, but for so many people. I also filmed what it looked like for those of us that were out on the floor trying to get the steps. Let's show that real quick.
That is so funny. I think that was our very first practice. Because I remember when I was that was our first practice, and we had probably 4 weeks out. Yeah, and then we just did every week. Wow, that's so funny.
I know. And then you see precious pastors in there with their
Pastor Carl.
trying to move here, and then Pastor Terry was down there, and but again, I love that you said, this is a gift that God's given me, and I'm going to use it to teach and to work with 300 plus missionaries who are going to Peru as we went to perform this dance at all of these different schools. And so you left an imprint on Peru, even as a result of you doing that, because even though maybe you didn't go to the school I went to, your teaching me the dance was an imprint of you at that school. And so just thank you so much. I just love your heart. You're one of those yes, I'll do it. You were on the cover of Fashioned magazine. I remember I was doing that photo shoot with you, and girl, you killed it. You look so gorgeous. And then we had so much fun. We were at Melrose and you were dancing.
Yes,
and remember that? I mean, I just love that free spirit.
And that was my first time, remember, at Melrose and going to all the little places. Yeah, that was so cool. I always tell people, remember we went after me and you went out to eat at Umami Burger and we saw that famous YouTuber. Oh. Yeah, I always tell people, I'm like, yes, I saw this person here with Cindy Galley. We were eating burgers here. Yeah, it was so funny.
That is so much fun. But I truly, you're just such a blessing and you're a gift. I remember you sharing with me that you had the opportunity to tour, I want to say it was with J-Lo in 2019, and you stuck to your commitment to doing Peru. So there you were in Peru. I think we have a picture of you in Peru. Then I have a picture of me in Peru. I don't think we ever took a picture together, but you were there and I were there. We're in the Coliseum.
Hey.
Yes. And so, that was just an incredible time and such an emotional night with thousands of people, thousands. And then how fun that we all got to do the dance one more time together as a whole. But, I remember, no, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, because, so I wasn't supposed to go to Peru. I didn't think I was going to go. But then I knew God was calling me to go to Peru, Victoria. And I was like, what for? And so I was like, okay. So I go, and then that's when I was asked, I was like, we need somebody to do this, lead us and teach us into the dance. I was like, okay, bet. Now I know why I'm going to Peru. Because I'd never been on a missions trip before, and I never thought I would go on one. I have a heart for community and people. I love people, but I never thought I would be flying to a different country simply for the purpose to see people's lives changed and to preach to them or to just love on them. But it was right around that time when our directors sent out a text. They didn't say what it was for, but they said, hey, are you available on these dates? And Peru was on those dates, and I said, no, I'm sorry, I'm not. I have a prior commitment. And then finding out it was the J-Lo tour, I was like, Lord, I think you heard wrong. What? But I knew, no, this is where I'm supposed to be at, and I want to be found doing what I'm supposed to be doing at the time that I'm supposed to be doing it at, or I'm asked to. And so I did Peru. Greatest experience, literally of my life. I almost will say that it is greater than going on tour, because I just got to see literally people's lives change. People healing before my eyes. I got healing because I sprained my ankle a couple weeks prior.
I remember.
And, it was just an amazing time. God's fruitfulness was really, like, the fruitfulness of the people that God used was really evident, and I'm so happy to take part in it. But it was right after that. It was about 2 or 3 weeks after that when I had got a text, and it said, "Hey, come and take a tour." I was like, "No way! Like, God, won't you do it? You are so awesome." That I was able to, receive one blessing of going out on tour to Peru, and now I have the other opportunity to go on tour. So cool that I said no, but then you brought it right back. And even that, even on tour, it was a blessing, not just to be there for dance, but there were some things that took place that were just like, oh, Lord, you are so good. You literally operate anywhere, right? Like, there is no limit for God and what he wants to do. There is no limit for his gospel. And so literally took it with me on tour, sharing it with my teammates, even with people that I didn't know that I met on tour. And that's a long story to get into, but it is such a blessing to be able to say that I experienced both of those things within a month's span. And and I'm now, some of my own crewmates that were on the lab with me, that went on tour with me, they now attend The Rock, and they're involved in ministry there, and it has just been such a blessing, because I think when that happened, I was really like, Lord, like, this is why. And I've seen people that I know from dance come into church or give their lives to God, but when I seen it with them, I said, wow, Lord, like, you are so faithful, because my talent, something so simple as dance, millions of people can do it, was able to bring 2 people, and those 2 people are gonna continue to go out and to be about your business. And so it's worth it. It's worth the yes, even if you don't know what's on the other side. It's just go for it. If God said it, it is good. And so, yeah.
It's a good word. There's quite a few quotes already that I'm like, ooh, that's a great quote. And it's so interesting because right when you were starting to tell us you got a call, you froze. And so someone just texted right now on YouTube, and they said, who did she go on tour with? My screen froze.
Yeah, so I went on tour, Pat, with J-Lo. I was able to enjoy, right directly after Peru, I was able to enjoy international portion of the tour with J-Lo for her big party tour that she had. And so it was really fun. And literally, look how cool this is. So our first stop on this tour was in Israel, and I was blown away. Never did I think I would be in Israel or make it to Israel. And that was a blessing in itself also. Just literally within a month span, Peru, seeing miracles before my eyes, J-Lo, and then back to Israel, right? And then walking through Jerusalem, being able to share that with my teammates, and just literally everything was like, oh my gosh, I'm literally walking through the hallways that God and Jesus walked through. And so it's like, what? All in a month span, God, you are crazy. But I toured with J-Lo.
So amazing. And I know that, you went to, I believe, Egypt and maybe Paris. I feel like I remembered seeing you dancing out somewhere out there too. Just maybe it was like a video of you, dancing.
So if we have time, the tour, the portions that we went to, or the countries that we went to, where the different portions of the tour were Israel, Turkey, Egypt, Russia, and Spain. I am definitely missing another one. I'm forgetting another one. Yes, and then directly after that is I went on my own little summer tour thingy. I had to go and attend some battles and some training overseas. So I went to Amsterdam. Literally, it's like Italy is my favorite place, and then Amsterdam. I love Amsterdam. I went to Amsterdam for some dance stuff, and then right after that I went to Paris. So that's what you saw.
So cool. Well, I just love how you're allowing the Lord to use you to the umpth degree, and you're not putting any boundaries on Him. You're not being religious, because really it's at the end of the day, it's what is He saying to me?
Mm-hmm.
And what is He asking me to do? And you nailed it when you said you just want to be found doing what He's asking you to do. And you shared a recent post on Instagram. I'm just going to read, and I just, because it touched me. You said, from my very first performance ever to the present, dance has always and will and always will have my heart. All my thankfulness goes to God, the one who gave me this gift, and the one who put the right people in my life to help me grow. You guys know who you are, and big thanks to my family for always supporting me to many more decades of dance.
Yeah.
So
I like love talking, and when I like, get something, I just want to share it. I'm so sorry.
Share it.
Because you said about religiousness and me not being like that, and I just want to touch really quickly, because I believe that more than ever, my generation, a generation of creatives, a generation that is so after God's heart, using their talents, using what they have, but with that, sometimes there's people in the church that can be religious, right? Very traditional. And sometimes that can rub off on us or discourage us, that maybe we're in a setting that is, around people that are not the best, things that are not the best, listening to things that aren't the best, right? But our intention is, Lord, I have this gift. Lord, use me. I know I'm called to this specific group for a reason. And if you can look past I shouldn't be listening, or it's too secular, or this or that. If you can look past that and just say, God, I have a relationship with you, Lord. I have a relationship with you. So what you say, I'm going to do. And you're able to put aside people's opinions and the politics of just life, literally, and just come before the Lord and say, you supply it, I will do it. Put me in any group. Put me in an alleyway with a bunch of people and watch every person get saved, right? Or put me in front of a club or whatever, right? If I'm walking past it, put me in that spot. And if I'm a singer, allow me to use my voice to sing and to bring freedom to somebody, right? Allow me to minister using whatever I have. If you're an artist or whatever, if you're a dancer, anything, just know, keep dearest to your heart. Your relationship with God comes first. And if He's given you a talent, go after it, run after it, ask Him for wisdom, how to use it. And He'll show you, He'll instruct you. But just a little encouragement. Don't let religiousness shy you away from what God wants to do and use you for.
Amen. Woo! Yes, girl. Right there. That's a message right there. That's so good. So good. Well, thank you for sharing the wisdom and the heart of God. As you were sharing about people's opinions, I remember reading in the New Testament, and all kinds of Pharisees and Sadducees had opinions about Jesus.
Yeah.
And what He was doing and who He was doing it with and what He shouldn't be doing. And yet He was doing the very thing He said, I don't do, I don't say, I don't go unless the Father, He did it because the Father was showing Him to do it. And so thank you for you doing the same. And I'm so sad because I know there's all kinds of other things I want to chat about. We have some other wonderful, amazing guests waiting as well. I wanted to talk to you about your love life. Yes, and you just squealed, so I know there's a little something good there.
Yes, there is.
So we'll have to continue this conversation off air.
Yes.
But I know you were going to prepare a little dance. I don't think it was going to be for a dance off because, I know I would win.
I'll teach you a trendy move, Cindy.
Okay.
So I have to get to the other people first, and I'm excited to listen. I love makeup and everything. I love DIY stuff. But anyways, I'll teach you something so trendy. So when I see you at church or you come around, you see a young adult, you can do it, and they're like, what? I'm going to teach you the whoa, okay?
The whoa.
Yeah, and we can do it sitting down. So easy.
Okay.
But
do I sit down or do I stand up?
You can sit down.
Okay.
So once I teach you this, after you kind of have to play around and add your spice or your vibe to it. But this is the base for it. So you're going to lift up You're going to kind of like move your shoulder up. So one hand's down here, the other one's here. And you're going to grab the hand that's higher. You're going to turn it like a wheel. And you're going to shake your shoulder a little. Yeah, so it usually happens on a beat where like the beat goes up like, yeah, okay?
Oh.
Yeah, so you kind of just like, maybe you're like, groove, hey, or you're like, groove, hey, okay? That's the whoa. It is literally, for whatever reason, the coolest dance move.
It looks so cool, and yet I can't get it. So you're saying,
hey, down, yeah.
I'm just not hitting it hard.
Or what about Cindy? Just do this. Ready? Literally so easy, okay? Just go shoulder, ta, ta, ta. Whoa. Yeah, okay, one more time. Ready? And go. Shoulder, ta, ta, ta. Go. Hey, yeah, easy does it. Easy money. Yeah.
What's that one called?
That's just the whoa. And just do it. You just play around with it.
I'm going to play around with it, girl. When I see you at church, I'm going to do the whoa. And you'll be like, whoa.
That's funny.
Oh, well, you're wonderful. Thank you so much. I wondered if you could do us something. If you, as you're signing out, if you could pray over, so many listeners, and you address so many different areas where people are called, where they have gifts. Maybe it's as a writer. You said even if it's a singer. There's so many things, and I always bring this up. I remember the lady, and I don't know why I forget her name every time I talk about her, but she's the lady on, I believe it was Britain's Got Talent. And, Sarah, I think it's Sarah Doyle, I think. And here she was, just, this unassuming woman gets on the stage. You could see people kind of rolling their eyes. And she's like, I'm going to sing. I think I Had a Dream. And she opens her mouth and sings, and everybody like drops. Simon Cowell is like, and I remember the first time seeing it, like I just cried. Tears just came down my face for her. I thought, my goodness, what has she been doing all of these years? Has she even been singing? Because this is clearly her, like almost probably her greatest gift, because it just touched every one of us to the core. And so there's probably so many people that are watching, maybe people who they just kind of toy with things, or they've dismissed things and just thought, that's not for me, or I don't have what it takes. Even me, I have to come against even things in my own mind, It's like, yeah, you're 51. Nobody wants to hear you, and it's like, well, I'm just doing, I said yes to what God's asked me to do. Yeah. So until then, I just have to keep walking it out, but would you pray for individuals watching? Maybe there are writers, or there are other people that are called to do things. Every one of us has a gift. Would you pray for the stepping into that gift and allowing these individuals to say yes to God, what he's asking them to do, and just trusting and believing him to do what they themselves can't do without him?
For sure. Absolutely. I'm excited. Okay, let's pray. Okay. Heavenly Father, God, I thank you, Lord, for this time, Lord, that we were able to share together, Father, for every viewer that is watching this right now and that will watch this later, Father. Lord, I pray, Lord, that whatever talent, Father, that they know they have, that is before them, God, or maybe they don't know what their purpose is yet, or even what their talents are, God. I pray that you would deposit that, Father, into them, Lord, that you would show them, Father, bring them clarity, God. And Lord, with that, Lord, bring them boldness and courageousness, Father. Lord, would you just show them, Father, that these are things, Lord, these are arts and gifts, Father, that you have given them, Lord, whether that be their voice, whether that be through their hands, Father, through their body, Lord, through their writing even, Father. Would you just show them, Lord, that it is for your glory, Father, and that it will, Father, bring fruit, Lord, to their life, Lord, and blessings. And Lord, I just pray, Lord, that every person who watches this also just receives peace in that, and knowing that You are the God, Father, that it brings abundance to our life, God. And so, Lord, where you call us, Father, Lord, I pray that we would answer and we would say yes to what you're calling us to, that we would be so attentive to your instruction and we'd be obedient, Father. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen. Well, Victoria, thank you so much. As always, such a joy. And I can't wait to see you at church so I could do my little whoa for you.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, girl. Well, keep doing what you're doing. Don't let anybody tell you any different. God is so pleased with you. And I'm so pleased with you because he's pleased with you. Love you to pieces. And thank you so much for being on our show today.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Awesome. Okay, well, I hope for those of you that are watching, work on that whoa, because that's a pretty cool little thing there. So I'm going to work on both of those 2 whoas. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it good. I'm going to be like showing everybody how to do the whoa. I just have to do that little stomp. That's where I always get that hard on that hit. That's not my strong point in dance. Okay. So for those of you that just, want to see what's going on in Victoria's life, do head on over to her Instagram. She is at official sweets MZK, and just follow her. I mean, her Instagram profile will bring you joy. It makes me laugh. It brings a huge smile, not just to my face, but to my heart. But this girl is on fire for the Lord. She's being used by him. She's bold. She's not even 21. And she's already been coined a champion of NBC's World of Dance. And that is because of the hard work, determination, and her really saying, God, this is what you've called me to do. I'm going to do it. So may that be said of every one of us in the various areas that he's called us to. Now is the time, people. Now is the time. So I'm super excited that we were able to have her today. Okay, speaking of dance. Last week, we had Deborah Wondercheck on from the Arts and Learning Conservatory. And I just want to remind you, auditions are happening on April 30th. So if you have children, please go ahead, do it virtually. There's even a workshop on how to get your kids prepared for this virtual audition. Her conservatory is amazing. It is the best of the best, and it's in Orange County. Now, for those of you that live outside of Orange County, the performance will be in Orange County. But get your kids audition. I mean, just even seeing like Victoria, how her parents were so supportive of her desire to dance and so thankful. And look at all the doors. I'm like, my goodness, she's been to places that I could only dream of being. So again, if that's something that you see that little gleam in your kids' eyes about singing or dancing or acting, go ahead and head on over to that Arts and Learning Conservatory and get them auditioned. Okay. Before we bring out our next guest, one quick message. So stay tuned. We have one quick message from A New Thing Live. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Like definition, exhibition, simplify complexity. I'm going to be on the show the same night. Dr. O'Quinn, are you kidding me? I'm only 5'3", girl, and I'm a size 10 shoe. That is not right. There's something wrong with that, first of all, okay? Dress, I love that it's in color. I mean, because that red is just popping on you, girl. But I want to get the book so I can already start getting ready now.
Oh, yeah.
This is a princess right here.
Yeah, je t'aime Paris. Je t'aime Paris.
Oh, oui, oui, mademoiselle.
If you haven't yet, don't forget, subscribe to A New Thing Live. Rock on by. Just keep on walking.
Yep.
Oh, we sure do have a lot of fun here at A New Thing Live. So if you haven't yet, whether you're watching us on YouTube or you're watching us on Facebook, do us a huge favor. Go on over, click that tab, go to YouTube and do a search for A New Thing Live. And then just hit the subscribe button. This way, you're in the know of when we are. Sometimes I'll do little things in between the week, or I might put up a little trailer or something. But again, we want to bring hope and joy and love to people's lives. This show, you're not gonna hear a whole lot of disgruntled people here or hating people here. I mean, really, this just is a wonderful place, and it's your safe place. So I'm so glad that you're a part of us. But yes, do subscribe, do subscribe. So, even talking a little bit about JLo, we know that she's got that glow. She's got that skin that, you look at those commercials and I think, my goodness, I don't think my skin ever looked like, I don't know that it ever will. But I will tell you that someone who I know already who would go toe to toe with JLo's glow is our very next guest. She is a makeup artist. She's an esthetician, and she's the owner of a beautiful business called The Makeup Bar. Would you welcome with me tonight, Miss Francesca Miranda, gorgeous glow herself. Yes, beautiful. Hi, Francesca.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm so good. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, being here with all these powerhouse women, entrepreneurs. And so, yes, your skin, I can already see it's glowing. I'm like, oh, I have so many questions for her already.
That's good. That's good.
Yes. Okay. So tell us a little bit about your journey, because I know that you've done makeup, but I also know that you have your own makeup line as well, which you do carry on with your business, The Makeup Bar. Tell us, how did you get into, the skin care industry? Did you always know that you had a desire for that, or is it just something that you just kind of fell into?
I think I always had it in me because my mom used to buy me those plastic makeup that came with the earrings, the lipstick, the blush. And my dad would take me to Mexico, and I had a little bag, and I would stop in the middle of the street and pretend to apply lipstick, and people would just stop and look at me. And I must have been like 5 or 6 years old, and just applying makeup. And then if you look at pictures of me when I was like 5 or 7, I was so into fashion and wanting to look beautiful. And I was in the hotel industry, and my boss would always tell me, you are in the wrong business.
What? You had a boss telling you that?
Yes.
That says something.
She would always tell me, you are in the wrong business. What are you doing here? And I'm like, well, I love hospitality. I love talking to people. But I think I always had it in me. When I was a little girl, I always said I wanted to be a police officer, went to school to get my criminal justice major. Halfway through, I decided that it wasn't for me, and I was just going to follow my dream.
I love that. That takes so much courage, because there's a lot of people that they will realize that they've spent years, pursuing something, even maybe going to school. I know I had a friend who would spend a few years in school and realized halfway through or a little bit over that wasn't even what she wanted to do. And I applauded her for putting the brakes on it, pulling back, and then going back in the new thing that she wanted to do. First it was nursing, and then it was changed to dentistry. And I thought, wow, to me, that's so courageous. And so hats off to you for doing that. Sometimes people will just say, you know what, I'm just going to do it because I've already been doing it. And it's a courageous move to, first of all, listen to your heart, to what is your heartbeat really saying. And the fact that you're saying you're 5 years old, you're putting on that plastic, I know exactly what you're talking about, those little plastic contacts with the plastic lipstick that didn't even put any color on your lips.
At all.
You were convinced they were red. You were convinced
Yes.
you had that red and those little bejeweled plastic, so I love that. So the name of your skincare is, how do you pronounce it? Is it Taily?
Exactly, Taily.
Okay, so how did you now get into your own skincare line? Because that to me is a whole animal in itself. I'm like, she's got all kinds of courage to be doing that.
Yes, well, back in 2016, when I started the Makeup Bar, I was always looking for brands to carry at the shop, and we wanted to make sure that we were bringing performing products that would have really good ingredients. And it was kind of hard at the beginning to find a skincare product that I really loved. Being Latina, and you probably have experienced this, that when you get a pimple or a breakout, then you have some hyperpigmentation. So it shows most of the time. So I set out to find a company that would produce a product for me that would help with exfoliation at a deeper level and with hyperpigmentation. And that's how Taily was born. That is my first product. It is made here in the USA. I think it has been just a lot of research, a lot of trial and error to find a company that really sees my idea of where I want to go with Taily. And I finally found a company that's helping me, I guess, complete that vision that I have for Taily.
That's so good. I think as you're saying that, the importance of making sure that you are partnered with people that see your vision. And I think we can't rush through those types of decisions. I think it's good to do the research. It's like why when someone's going to buy a home or looking for a school to go to, unless you just know I want to go to that one school. But there's something to be said about taking your time. And, we're always in such a rush, especially before the pandemic. Everything was just rush, fast, express, 1 hour. I mean, everything was like now, instant. And to me, when it's something that should be lasting and something of value, something, especially if this is representing you, this is your brand, this is your skincare line. I love that you said, you found a company that says yes to your vision, because at the end of the day, this is you, this is your brand. Like nobody has the vision for your makeup, your skincare line, except for you. And what does that look like? I love that. I was looking at your website, and you have so many beautiful products on there. But one of the things that I liked was it just, even the care of the animals. I think it's a cruelty-free product, which I think is great. Sometimes we don't think about those things. And I'm an avid animal lover. Like I will be on Instagram sharing, tagging friends on this little doggy video and this little llama video and this little elephant video and this, because I just love animals, bunnies and all of that. So when I see the treatment, I'm the one that's signing petitions and things like that. Now, it can be a little hypocritical because I do wear leather, but this is my thing. I just say I know that the animals, this is how I feel, like animals really are kind of like for our benefit in a way, but they shouldn't be treated cruelly.
Absolutely not.
Right. When they're living and they're alive, treat them with kindness, honor them, love them, care for them, feed them, be good to them, and every one of us, our days will end somewhere. So animals, humans, every one of us, our days will end somewhere. So I just appreciated seeing that you went out of your way to make sure that your product was specifically cruelty-free.
And it's also vegan, cruelty-free. We make sure there's no parabens in it and other bad ingredients. So I make sure that the lab really understands my vision, because like you said, if I'm going to put a product out there, that product is representing me. I want to put out a quality product that you will be able to see results maybe within a week or two, that you will come back and want to buy that product from me over and over. I don't want to put out a product that you're just going to purchase once. I want to make sure that I'm delivering a quality product.
That's so good. Yes, you want those customers that are gonna just say, this is my brand. This is my skincare. And, I know for me, even before the pandemic, I was using kind of an expensive eye concealer from Tom Ford. And I used it for quite a few years because I just was married to it. But always open to something new. But I think especially as women, when we find a product that that works well with our skin, with our color, then I think you want to hold on to it, and you'll cut corners elsewhere so that you can still have that product. So that's beautiful. I love that. your vision for that. So, what would be some tips you could tell us, maybe 2 or 3 tips on how to have healthy, glowing skin? You read different things, but I'm like, well, we're going to bring her on here so she can answer that for us.
Yeah, well, that's the other reason why I wanted to go to esthetician school, because people would always tell me, I want my makeup to look like yours. How come my makeup doesn't look like yours? Like, what am I doing wrong? And I'm like, well, the skin is like a canvas. If you want the makeup to look beautiful, you have to treat your skin right. Everything starts with skin. If you take good care of your skin, when you go on and apply a foundation, it's just going to look beautiful on you. Price has nothing to do with how the skin is going to look at the end. You can buy a $8 foundation, but if you have a beautiful canvas, it's just going to look lovely. You can have a $50 foundation, and if you have beautiful skin, it's going to do the same thing for you. It all starts with skin.
Wow, that's so good. So do you use, I'm sure that most of the products you use are your own. Do you use all of your products for everything from skincare to makeup? Do you kind of, I'm the person that I'll get this brand and then this brand, and, I'm not married to one brand.
That's totally fine. You can combine a lot of different products, even with skincare and with makeup. You can combine a lot of different things. Yeah. Because I have the makeup bar and then I have my own skincare brand, I promote both. I carry a lot of great products at the makeup bar, but then I also have my one product, which is Two Skins, is an exfoliation. So don't be afraid to combine products. You can always combine, high end with low end. That's why I created the makeup bar. I wanted to bring a lot of products under one umbrella and be able to put products out there depending on your budget. So don't be afraid to combine high and low end products. You can absolutely do that.
Oh, that's so good. Thank you for that. And then, you hear some of these things like, you need to wash your face every night, wash, of course, every morning. And then it's like, so I've people say, well, you don't have to wash it at night. Sometimes I fall asleep and my makeup is still on. Of course, the morning.
No.
I know.
No. You know that.
I'll fall asleep and it's like I'll wake up in the morning and I go, oh, my blush is still on.
One of my sisters does that. Actually, 2 of them. 2 of them will do that. And I'm like, do you know you just aged 10 years in one night? You cannot do that.
Well, thank you for clarifying that, because I'm like, oh, that's just a myth. Like, no, that's not. So, what should we be doing every night?
Every night. I cannot stress this enough. You have to make sure that you remove your makeup. On Instagram, some people will ask me, well, I don't wear any makeup. Why should I be washing my face at night? Definitely. There's a lot of pollution out there. So basically, if you do not wash your face, or I also have clients that when they come to me for makeup application, I have to ask them, are you wearing any moisturizer? And they tell me, no, I don't wear anything at all. And I'm like, nothing at all, not even a moisturizer. And they say, no, I just get up. I just, rinse my face with cold water and I go about my day. And I'm like, oh my God, no, that your face becomes the filter. If there is no moisturizer, there's no, you don't have a protective barrier. So your skin becomes the filter. So everything, the free radicals, everything that's out there, it all goes directly to your skin. So even if you do not wear makeup at night, you have to wash your face at night just to get rid of dirt, oil, anything that's just there.
That's so good. Okay. So then that
and
means
in the morning,
tonight I need to take my makeup off.
Please do. Please remove your makeup at night. I cannot stress that enough. And in the morning, there's no need to wash your face. If you removed all the makeup, you use your night moisturizer. In the morning, you can just go ahead and rinse your face with cold water. There's really no need to use anything soapy.
Okay. Yeah, I think, and then this is the other thing that I'm notorious for. I subscribed for a while to Glossy Box, and then for a little bit I did Ipsy, and then more recently was like Glamour Box. And so now I have all these different like products, So then it's like, oh, I'm washing. So there's nothing consistent about my makeup regimen at all. I mean, it's crazy. Just like I'm going to try this moisturizer. I'm going to try this, this mask and things like that. And so I like that you said you can mix the high end with the low end, but it probably would be good at some point just to lock in to a regimen that works well with my skin type.
Definitely. It's so important to know your skin type. For example, you have to know, do I have dry skin? Do I have oily skin? Do I have combination skin? It's so important to know all those things because then you know what products to apply. We don't want to apply, for example, if you have oily skin, we don't want to apply a product maybe that was made for dry skin. So that's why it's really important to know your skin type, just so you can apply the right products.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you so much. And, I'm just so excited I really do want to take a look, going to the makeup bar, .us and just seeing, there were so many beautiful things on there. There was even some like athletic wear and things like that. But I just want to really scroll and, just see really what would work well for my skin. But I'm getting older, so I know that actually
that's their excuse. That's not an excuse.
No, I was just going to say getting older has made me more like I need to put moisturizer on.
Yes.
In my 40s, I didn't do that very often. But as I was hitting 50, I realized, I need to start putting moisturizer. I need to put, sunscreen. So I do feel like what you're saying. I feel like my face I like that I do some of those things, but I definitely can be so much kinder to my face. And then I think too that over the last couple of years, just drinking a lot more water. And I think there's just things like that are practical tips that people should be doing as well, to take good care of their skin. So
absolutely. And in hydration, it's really important to drink water throughout the day. As we get older, as we age, our oil production depletes. So there's a lot of things that happen when we start aging. When we're young, our cells regenerate more often, but then when we hit probably between 25, 28, our cells regenerate every 30 days. So that's why it's so important to help our skin to, nurture the skin with the right products, just to help the skin regenerate.
Yes, that's so good. Okay, well, thank you so much. So if anybody wants to continue to look and browse through your website, I know that you have a lot of different, you offer so many different curated selections of skincare and cosmetics. And I really like that it's clean and it seems like it's organic as well.
Yes,
so
we do.
Yeah, that's just beautiful. So yes, be sure to head on over to her website. This is her online beauty store, the makeupbar.us. I know that she personally, curates that, and that she also has her beauty line as well, her cosmetic line. And so you are amazing, and thank you so much. Yes, my goal is to have skin that looks like yours. After I take care of my skin, then my next step is the makeup, because that one, I don't have that down yet either,
Yes, and that's the way it's supposed to be. First, you want to take care of your skin, and then makeup can wait, but just take care of your skin.
I love that. And then also your Instagram, for those of you that are watching, please head on over to her Instagram, which is at, I believe, is it at the Makeup Bar US? Is that you?
Yes.
I'm hoping so. Okay.
No, that's actually my for the makeup bar, but mine is Francie Dosa.
Okay.
At Francie Dosa.
Okay. Well, we'll on our website, we'll be sure to put the right one on there, because I remember trying to tag you, and I looked in. I don't think that's her website. I mean, her Instagram. But that is your website, themakeupbar.us. So
Correct.
be sure to check out her website. Just do that. Don't worry about the Instagram right now. And then be sure to head on over to our website too. If you forget, then we're going to have her information up on our website as of tomorrow. So thank you so much. Is there anything else, Francesca, that you want to leave our viewers with regarding beauty or cosmetics, or even just in pursuit of your dreams?
Probably in pursuit of your dreams. I think I want to share with everyone, don't be afraid to go after your dreams. You know, if you have been given a talent, show it off. I don't know, share it with people. Sometimes I do hold back and I don't share a lot of the things I know, because I'm shy. I'm a little shy, and I'm like, no, I don't think I could do that. But then I do have people send me DMs, and I'm always giving them advice. And people always tell me, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? So, you know, when God has a purpose for you, he will find a way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for those words of encouragement. And it's been such a joy to have you on the show.
Thank you for
and to
having
meet
me.
you here on the show. You are wonderful. Thank you for saying yes to those dreams in your heart and putting the brakes on that criminal justice girl, because this is your calling.
Yes.
And this is your gift.
Yes. Thank
Wonderful.
you.
Absolutely. Well, we'll have you back. And until then, you have a wonderful rest of the week, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Likewise.
Thank you, Francesca. Bye-bye. Wow. Yeah, she's got that beautiful glow that we all long for and desire. So please be sure to head on over to themakeupbar.us and check out her website, and just take your time, maybe while you're listening to some jazz. How about that? That just sounds like a really relaxing way to end your evening. Okay, so we have one more segment, and I'm super excited because this is like double power, twin powers activate. But don't go anywhere. We have one quick message, and then we'll be right back.
Hey, it's that time again for the Fellowship Market.
And we're so excited. It's going to be on Saturday, April 24th from 11 to 5.
And you know what? There's some pretty amazing products. I found the greatest thing for my hair. It's called a shampoo bar. I know. Who would have ever heard of it?
I've never heard of a shampoo.
I know, I hadn't either, but I tried it and it is like my favorite. There are so many fun items to come and to check around and to purchase, but also we're helping small businesses to get started. So we sure hope to see you then.
Come and join us. We'll be here. Will you be there? We hope so.
Yes.
So the Fellowship Market is this Saturday for those of you that are in the Orange County area. This is a monthly pop-up market. We have about 40 vendors and everything. Like, Kimberly was sharing the shampoo bar. I'd never even heard of a shampoo bar until she was mentioning it. But there's so many vendors that I don't even have the opportunity to personally go and visit each vendor, which is why I knew nothing about the shampoo bar. But I mean, we've got beautiful home decor, and then there's gorgeous candles, and then jewelry, and then fun like sweet chili candy and flowers. And I mean, just there's so t-shirts and merchandise and the list goes on and on. But it really is just a fun time. It's a free event out in here in Anaheim, and it starts at 11. It goes until 5. And throughout the day, we do some free giveaways, some free raffles, popcorn, Pop Life popcorn. And I think I was even eating some treats by Vivian the other day on the show during Caramel Week. And so it really is a wonderful time. We have incredible food trucks that, I mean, you're going to not want to eat until you get to the Fellowship Market. So that's this Saturday. Come on down and hang out with us. And I'm so excited because the Fellowship Market wouldn't be what it is without committed and outstanding vendors, and especially vendors with really good product and great merchandise. And so that is what is true of both of our next guests. We're so blessed to have not just one, but two today. These women are not only creative, but they too are courageous. They really have just stepped out and said yes in the midst of all the other things that we go through. These two women have said yes to being to launching their own businesses. And so they're smart and they're creative. I call them boss babes, and they are here with us tonight. Would you please welcome Heather Bray and Amanda Clement? Ladies, are you here? Oh, there you are. Yes, the Fellowship Market is in the house. I should have worn my Fellowship Market sweatshirt, but this I thought was a little more, trying to do that thing that Victoria was doing, a little more.
Don't ask me to do that. Don't ask me. That's not my skill.
Oh, how are you ladies doing? Thank you so much for coming and being a part of our show tonight. I know we've been trying to get this together for a while. So tonight is the night, and I'm so grateful that you both were able to come. And what a fitting episode for the both of you. And, I want to hear from each of you individually as well, because obviously each of you have your own two businesses. But then I always see you side by side at our vendor, at our events. You're so cute. And then anyway, I don't want to give it all away right now, but how are you both doing? How are things going?
Great.
Go ahead, Heather. We are always together. It's actually true.
It's
What?
true. It is
All
true.
the time? You mean not even at the Fellowship Market, even outside of the Fellowship Market?
Yep. We live a mile away, so it's just easy to do.
I love that. Well, that's just the power of community right there.
We even found out yesterday that we were literally eating the same snack at the same time, like that.
It's scary.
Weird.
Sometimes,
It's like
Cindy. It's scary.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but it's
Yeah, it sounds like y'all are in sync too, kind of like what Victoria was talking about, but with regards to eating, it sounds like you're a little bit too in sync.
We won't go there, okay?
Let's not go there. Let's not go there. Well, I'm so excited to have you both, and I am a proud owner of both of your, products. When we have these pop-up markets, I'm at your tables and I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to get away from your tables just because everything you make is so beautiful, and it's so beautiful and it's meaningful. That's the other thing too. It's not just like, because you can go to other places, but I feel like, the two of, each of your businesses, when you're creating what you're making, you're putting your heart into it. Amanda, I was reading something where you said, custom signs for weddings and baby showers and custom work is your favorite thing to do. And I love that. I love that. So Amanda, we'll start with you. Tell us how you broke into Altogether Lovely. How did that come to be?
Okay, I'm so excited to share this with you because I feel like it speaks to a lot of mamas out there, and people who maybe like you passed your prime, like as a 20-year-old, and you still don't really think you have anything to give or offer. That's kind of what happened with me. I really wasn't looking for a hobby. I wasn't looking for something else to do because, in all honesty, at the time I started, I had 3 little children, 2 in diapers. I think it was like 3 under 4 years old. And so I wasn't looking for a business or a hobby. I was honestly just looking for God to meet me in a new way. I was just like knee deep in diapers, and I felt like I was a cow, just feeding all the time and changing poop. And it was just like one of those stories. But I was just going after the Lord. And I just remembered that, you know, in First Corinthians, it talks about how, you know, as a believer, every part does their share. And I knew that to be true. I didn't grow up Christian, but once I got saved and started going to church, I started in an awesome church where I learned that I do have something to offer and I do have something to give. And so in that area, I felt like, wow, I've been growing. It's been amazing. Love being a part of my church, but the part of me that I felt like was lacking was the understanding that God deeply loved me and that He had a plan for me. And you know, I wasn't just a toe finger. I don't even know what that is. But I wasn't just a toe or a finger. How about that? That I was fearfully and wonderfully made, and that God had a plan for me, and I had something to offer besides just, you know, being a mama or whatever. And so in the midst of that, this started to kind of just happen. And it's really neat because honestly, if it wasn't for my husband who pushed me to go after it and get creative, I wouldn't have done it. And so one day, it was like Christmas in like 2017, I think it was, he said, you know what do you want for Christmas? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't really want anything. And he's like, why don't you just make an Amazon list and, you know, we'll see how that goes. And so I put random things on there. I put like a wood burner. I put calligraphy pens. I put like all kinds of random little deal things. And he bought it all for me. And so to be honest with you, it sat there for 8 months, like untouched. I did not even touch it. It just sat there untouched for 8 months. But as I continued to stay up late at night, nursing my children and reading the word, I kid you not, the Lord His love just swept over me. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go after it. And 8 months later, I opened up that wood burner and I just started, you know, messing around with it. And I love wood burning because I'm a lefty. And if you know anything about calligraphy, or writing as a lefty, man, you smudge everything. Like it's just, so I wasn't quite ready for the calligraphy part at that point. But the wood burning was just amazing. And, you know, one of the things that really spoke to me was in Genesis 3, where, you know, God was meeting Adam and Eve in the garden. And then at some point in time, they were hiding from God. And He said, like, who told you? Like, who told you you were naked? And that part that just said, who told you? That's the part that really just stuck out to me. And it just burst inside of me. It was like, who told you that you're creative? Like, who told you that you're not talented? Who told you that you can't do this? Who told you that you can't do that? And I think that when that happened, that's the time where really I started to go after it, stop trying to compare myself. And then from that point on, I just feel like opportunities just started to explode. And so that's why I was just so excited to share tonight, because I just know I've talked to so many mamas out there who just like, I don't know, I don't have anything else to offer. I feel like I'm just swamped in all of this. And it's like, yeah, and that's when God met me and I just really received His love. And from that point on, it's just been such an amazing, fun journey for me. So yeah.
What a beautiful story. I love that. First of all, Todd, well done. And you going and getting all of that for Amanda. That is one of the first things I remember seeing of your art was the woodworking. And I was like, what in the world? This is beautiful, because it wasn't something that I had seen a lot. But and I think too, around the whole time with the boho and all that, it just was this gorgeous. It's so beautiful that you would do that. And so, yes, absolutely. But then just to see now how it's, you know, you have this now and it's starting to be fruitful and multiply, if you will, because now you have other things, not just the wood burning. I know for me, I have the acrylic paint, I believe, on the on that. I don't know what the material is, but it's, she's clothed in strength and dignity, that scripture, and she laughs without fear of the future. I mean, that's my scripture right there. And when I saw it, it was my colors, everything in my room is pink and white and gold with little hints of black here and there. I was like, that's mine. And I don't like to go to either of your Instagrams because I know I'm going to want to shop. Yes, exactly. Yes. That's so beautiful. So this is an example of one of the many things that you do. I felt like even for Christina's wedding, you have just done a beautiful piece, very similar to this. But I mean, what a gorgeous thing. It's just very simple, but very elegant. And then you also have earrings. I don't think I realized.
I do.
Yes. When did that happen? When did that come into play?
That's Heather and her gorgeous. She's my ear model. So she's my guinea pig. So
I love that. Those are so cool.
Yes. You know what? I just literally took the limits off. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I can do this. Maybe I can do that. None of this is ever for me to honestly just to like make money. For me, it's like, all of a sudden when that creativity exploded, I just couldn't contain it. So I just tried all kinds of fun things and it's really, really neat. So, and I have like really cool testimonies too. I mean, one time I was at church and I was doing ministry, and then afterwards I sat behind this lady. I'd never seen her before. And I saw on the ground her keys, and on her keys was a keychain. And the keychain that was on her keys was something that I made. And I've never met this lady before in my life. And so I was just like blown away. I was like, she has my keychain. Like I literally made that with my own hands. Like I don't even know this lady. And just having those experiences like that was so neat. And so I actually ended up talking to that girl, and I think it had hope on it. It was like wood burned. And I just like, oh, like I don't want to be creepy or anything, but I just want to know, like, how'd you get that keychain? And he's like, I bought it on a kiosk at the Brea Mall, and I just thought, man, like I never in a million years thought that my stuff would sell, that someone would want to buy it. It just blew my mind, and so it totally blessed me, and I love that. I love that the things that I make encourage people, and that's why custom orders are my favorite, because they're usually something that people want to put on their wall and they'll probably keep forever, which is also kind of like intimidating, but also I just love it because I just know it's important, and everything I do is handmade. And so there's a lot of prayer and love that goes into those things. So yeah.
I love that. And you know what? I mean, we need to always be reminded of things that God has said to us. And that's the power of, some of those beautiful pieces you're making. It's like, even for me, that scripture, I need to remember, this is who I am. This is what I'm clothed with. And I am called to laugh without fear of the future because of the things that God has promised me, because of the things He's spoken. And so you're making this beautiful customized gift, but it's also speaking life to people, and it encourages people. And so I'm just so glad that you stepped out and did that, and that God met you as a mom in the middle of changing poopy diapers and all of, raising the kids and all of this. There's so much to you, and there's so much to every woman, the ones that are moms, the ones that are not, the ones that are workaholics, the ones that are single. I mean, there's so many things to each person. And I love that. That's just such a precious story of how, God met you. And then Heather, I know that your business kind of took off during the pandemic, and I was like, what? I also have your welcome, with the eucalyptus and those striped ribbon that is in my kitchen. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, first of all, my writing is horrible, so I could never do what either of you do. I literally have the worst penmanship in the world. And so talk to us about how that launched, and, what was it that inspired you to do that during the pandemic?
Yeah, you know what? I was not expecting it. I don't think we expected 2020. as a whole. But, you know, the Lord planted the seed in my heart a while ago, just to simply have a desire to create something of my own. And I really believe that he's created us with so much depth and so much creativity. And I was longing for that outlet during the pandemic. And I've been working from home since March last year, and I was kind of feeling stuck. My husband and I were in ministry like 3 times a week, evenings, Sundays, and we were just going, and all of a sudden everything just came to a halt. And so I just remember kind of feeling a little bit lost, like, okay, Lord, you said that we are meant to flourish in every season. When we're planted in you and rooted in you, we're meant to flourish. And so what does a season look like? What new thing am I meant to be walking in during this time? And sure enough, that seed was planted multiple times and confirmed multiple times. I remember Pastor Jerry sharing at Rock Conference 2020. He shared Isaiah 60 and said, "It is our arise and shine moment, church." And that really ministered to me. And Amanda, who just happens to be on the our lovely show tonight, she really watered that seed. I give her some credit for that, because it is a little bit intimidating. You know, starting something new, it takes faith. And you know, oftentimes we can get stuck if we're not willing to take some risks. And so Amanda said, you know what, just start somewhere. And so I just started dreaming. I just started you know, allowing myself to dream up ideas. And I started with one thing. Christmas was around the corner, and the fellowship market was just launching. And I just felt like that was my window of opportunity. So I just went for it. And then as soon as I started coming up with one idea, another idea would spark, and then another idea would spark. And then it just became like this faucet that I couldn't turn off. I think Amanda was talking about that. But once the idea started coming, I just couldn't turn it off. And so it's been an amazing journey. I'm still trying to figure this out. I'm still trying to figure out balance, because I do work on, you know, a 9-to-5 job, which I love. But it's been an amazing journey. And I think one thing we don't realize is God has put so much depth inside of us and so much creativity inside of us. And you just got to start somewhere, right? You just got to start somewhere. So really that's what it's kind of turned into. And this is my third market this Saturday. So I'm really excited about that. So.
Yes, you're both going to be there. I'm so excited. Well, you know, something to be said about what you just said is when you start, that's when the more creativity comes, you know. I think every one of us can attest to that. When you step out in that, taking that first step, then all of a sudden more vision comes, more creativity comes. But if you're not stepping out, then you're going to stay stuck. And that's even the whole reason for this show is, come on, let's get unstuck.
That's right.
Let's get out of this place where we're just stayed put, pandemic or no pandemic. This show launched in the middle of the pandemic. And in the beginning too, I was like, what now? You know, like, no. This isn't how I had envisioned it.
Exactly.
But yet I know that it's what was supposed to happen, and it happened when it was supposed to happen. But if you don't take that first step and go through that door, and sometimes, you know, the door, somebody might say, well, the door looks closed. It's, well, then if you know you're supposed to walk through that door, then you need to tell that door to open up.
That's right.
We have that authority to say, no, you need to open up in the name of Jesus. Even though you're closed right now, you're not supposed to be closed to me.
That's right.
You know, so we shouldn't walk by those like, well, the door closed. And so no, if you see it and hear, then you need to do it. So I applaud both of you, especially because when it's creative, it is a little tricky because it's a part of you in here. And so it's a writer or a singer, a dancer could say the same thing. And, you know, like, oh yeah, when you're putting your creative piece out there, it's vulnerable.
It is.
Very.
It's scary, people. It is scary. So don't think that we're saying, oh, just do it. And it's scary.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It takes faith. It takes faith.
Yes, but you got to
Yeah.
push yourself. So what are some of the things that you've done to keep on keeping on, you know, with, with whether it's with Arise and Shine or with Altogether Lovely Art? Like, what are the things that you've had to do and had to have in place so you keep forging forward?
Mhm.
Either
For me, yeah, the things that I do and I make have to come out of overflow. I realize that I don't just make to make it. It really does come out of overflow. So if I am not well emotionally, if I'm not spending time with the Lord, or I feel like I'm on empty, then I realize that creativity just kind of stops. And so a lot of times, to be honest with you, I do like the whole entire social media suicide thing, where I'll get off of Instagram for a while and just invest time in the word and in myself, and all of a sudden the creativity starts opening up again. Because what happens when you're on Instagram a lot of times, or social media, you just start scrolling and you see all the things that people are doing, and instead of getting inspired, you actually, like, at least for me, I would tend to like close in a little bit, because comparison is a creativity killer, and all you see is, all these people doing all these things, and for me, I would get a little bit like, oh, gosh, everyone's still doing stuff, and I'm like, and so for me, what I do is I'll turn off the noise for a while, I'll invest in myself for a while, and all of a sudden I'll just see the creativity kind of just unlock again, and then explode again, and then I'm like up late at night again and doing all these fun things. And that's, I feel like, when all the best pieces and all the things for me just start to come alive.
Yes, Franklin Covey, there are 7 habits of highly effective people. They would refer to that as sharpening the saw. And if you go back even further to the Old Testament, it's called remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Yeah.
So there needs to be a day of replenishing. And I have come to find that in this season of the pandemic, is probably the first time I've ever really in a long time been able to do that. And you're right, because you're shutting everything off and you're giving everything a rest. And then you can come back those other 6 days, and then you're at it again, and you're excited, and there's new things that you're thinking of, but when we try to keep pushing, and then you're not taking that time to stop and to sharpen the saw, then that saw is going to be real dull, and you'll keep trying to cut that tree, but it's not going to cut because your saw is dull. And so that's exactly, what you're doing, which is wonderful. And what about you, Heather? What are some of the things that you do that cause you to be creative, or that just keeps you going? Especially because you said, I'm trying to find a balance, because you are working, you are in the marketing, advertising world, and you're also very creative. It's so evident. What are some of the things that you've had to put in place for yourself to be able to keep as a creative regarding this beautiful, business that you have?
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback on what Amanda said, as a believer, I know where my source is. And I don't want to get too over spiritual about it, but really, the creativity flows from the Lord, just like Amanda was saying. But you also have to be intentional to spend time with the Lord, intentional to put that time aside. And then the other thing that's really kind of kept me going is being connected with like-minded people. Amanda, one of them for me, somebody that sharpens you, somebody that helps you keep the vision alive. And you can, if you can find those people, whether it's the fellowship market or other like-minded individuals, iron sharpens iron, really. And I think when we can spur each other on and encourage each other in our gifts and our talents, that's what inspires me. Like Amanda was just telling me about a young lady that is going to be doing kind of a stop and shop in her backyard, later this month. And that's actually something the Lord's been speaking to me about, in the future. And to me, I'm like, I need to go see what she's doing. And that's where I think we can really encourage and inspire each other through this community of creatives and women, both men and women alike, who have those skills and those talents. And that's what I love the fellowship, Mark. And I know I keep putting a plug in for it, but really, when you get to know others who are inspired and you get to know their story, it just keeps that creative energy flowing. So
yes. And it's so good. I don't remember which of you, I think it was Amanda that talked about that comparison kills creativity. And so even seeing the relationship with the two of you, this togetherness, that's so important. And as women, we need to encourage each other. And, we are better together. No person is supposed to be alone and, oh, no, it's all about me. And no.
Right.
It does take a village in a sense, the right people in the village. Yeah. But it's so important to have that two are better than one. It's not good that man should be alone. I mean, it's all throughout the word. And I don't remember which of you said it, or if some were today in this episode, somebody talked about, every part does its share causes growth for the body. And that's one of my favorite scriptures. I think, if everybody, there's so people that are watching that they're not doing their share. There are people that aren't watching that they're not doing their share. No, every part, the word says every part does its share. So whether the toe is needed, the toe can't say of the elbow, I don't need you. No, every part of my body really does need each other. And that's how it is with each other too. We have need of each other. So I love seeing this partnership. And I love, Amanda, that God used you to breathe life into Heather. Yeah. And, right in this time, like right at the start of the fellowship market. And then you said something that was key. You said you saw this window of opportunity. And that's the other thing. There's been times where I've missed opportunities. There were times where the Lord said right there. And I said, oh, but I can't because, and I started talking myself out of it, and I let my head get into it. And then I missed an opportunity, happened just a few in January with a situation where somebody, I was on a call, and somebody who's high profile, they were saying, are any of you able to help and assist me? Because, I have a need, and there's such a demand and so many people are pulling at me, but I need help. If any of you are able to help, whether it's, with this ministry or this organization. And I was supposed to step up and say, I do lead a single women's ministry. And if you have anybody who's coming to you for that, that's my passion, strengthening single women. And I go, no, I can't say that because of who she is and da-da-da. So I missed the window of opportunity, and here the Lord was saying, tell her, he was saying, open your mouth. Speak up. And I let fear hold me back. And so now I missed out, and more than me missing out are all the single women that are reaching out to her that she's not able to respond to and answer because she is so busy doing what he does, So let that be a lesson. And I had to say, Father, forgive me. I am so sorry. And I tried reaching out on Instagram. Well, that was half of her battle, was it everyone's reaching out to her on Instagram and she can't respond to everything.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, I love, and that's why I love Heather's, her brand. It's Arise and Shine, because it's like, you're supposed to arise and shine, not for yourself, but honestly, so that your light can shine towards other people, because you're holding somebody's breakthrough. You're holding, if you have a story and you have it to share and they hear it, they can be encouraged and say, man, I can go after it too. And that's exactly what's happening even with the fellowship market. It's like such an opportunity, especially when you're really new at this whole scene, and it can be really daunting, intimidating. And, at the fellowship market, you have this opportunity to say, hey, I know this is intimidating, but we're just a bunch of people who just are going to go after it. And we're going to be a community, and there's no intimidation at all. And so this is why our light needs to shine, so that we can encourage people, man, no matter how you start, whether it be small or big, just start, and the Lord will bring you through it. And the juices will go flowing, and it's just going to be an amazing time. And so what I've learned though through this time too is that sometimes there's like too many opportunities. And you can't like, then you want to do it all, and then you stretch yourself too thin. And so I think there's, the thing that you go through, Cindy, with that, what you through, I've done that too, where I've totally missed an opportunity and I'm like kicking myself in the pants. But just like that amazing dancer that you had on earlier today, when she said, she knew what she was supposed to do. And so she had this opportunity to rise, and she had to turn it down because she knew what she was supposed to do. But then bam, immediately after, she had another opportunity, and she got to just see the world. And so I think that that's how God works, is
and dance with J-Lo.
And dance with J-Lo. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I've seen J-Lo live. I got to go to like a taping to like American Idol, and I'm like, she really is that beautiful.
Oh, I'm sure.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, we all want that glow. And I see her, I go, oh my goodness, she's got that pretty glow, that tan, whatever. But no, you're absolutely right. And absolutely the name of your business is so beautiful, Arise and Shine. And yours too, Amanda, altogether lovely. It really is. Both of your business names are such a true reflection of, what your product does, your customized product does. And we do have a giveaway. I'm excited about that. And then I'm thinking, oh no, how are we giving it away? So I don't know how we're giving it away. Usually we have one of our segment producer, Kiri, she'll say, oh, what about if we do this, if we do that? And then it didn't happen today. So we'll come up with something fun, maybe like an Instagram thing, or maybe something with comments on there. But we're excited about the giveaway though, because we do want somebody to inherit and receive that beautiful piece that you made with that. It's chicken wire, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So fun. And so I'm just so excited to have both of you ladies on here. Thank you so much for just coming and sharing not just your creativity, but even just some of the steps that you've walked through to be where you are and the journey that you've taken. Saying yes, but continue to say yes, because so many people really are blessed as a result of you saying yes. I always say, when we say yes, there's just something beautiful on the other side of that. Yes. Yeah. Doesn't matter how scary it is.
Right.
Doesn't matter how intimidating it is. And so both of your businesses truly, truly declare that out loud altogether, art as well as Arise and Shine Design. So thank you. Is there anything else that you want to share before we wrap up?
I would just say that God has called all of us to flourish and arise and shine and go after that. Go after him, and he'll make it known to you what those things are, and he'll bring it into fruition.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, Amanda.
I guess I would just say that you need to know that you were made complete. You were made on purpose. And the scripture that comes to mind, of course, is in like Jeremiah 29:11, that God knows the thoughts he thinks towards you, thoughts of peace, not of evil, to give you a future and to give you a hope. And so cling on to that, knowing that you have a future, you have a hope, and you were made on purpose. And so therefore, if you have something inside of you that's been stirring, let that grow and then go after it. Don't be afraid. Don't back away. Don't shy away. Because, and honestly, it's just going to keep nudging you until you do something about it. So might as well go ahead and let that seed grow inside of you and then go after it.
That's so good. I was just saying that to somebody out earlier. I'm like, it's never going to go away.
Yeah, right.
True.
It won't.
Right? It's not going to, if it's something you're supposed to do, it's just going to sit there. So you may as well take the steps towards doing it, so that finally like, okay, now I'm walking where I'm supposed to be walking. Yeah. It's just going to stay there.
Yeah. It will.
Do it.
Right.
Just do it.
Oh my goodness. Well, so for those of you watching, again, both of these beautiful business owners, both of their businesses are going to be at the Fellowship Market this weekend, and that's in Anaheim. And we'll be promoting that on A New Thing Live on Instagram, as well as my own personal, as well as on our website. So you're going to want to see in person and support both of their businesses because they really just do have gorgeous designs. And so Heather with the Rise and Shine and Amanda with Altogether Lovely. Thank you so much. Yes. So Heather Bray, her Instagram is Arise and Shine Designs. And then Heather, you're on Etsy as well.
I am on Etsy.
Okay, wonderful. And then Amanda, her Instagram information is Altogether Lovely Art. And you're on Etsy too.
I am.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So please, by all means, follow them, support them, show them love. But even more than that, come on down to the Fellowship Market in addition to following them. And come and see what great things they have at their table. Oh my goodness, it's going to be so much fun. Ladies, love you both so much. You are amazing. And thank you for coming and hanging out with us tonight at A New Thing Live and just sharing what God's put in your heart. Truly is a blessing. I'm blessed. I know our viewers that are watching now and the ones that will be watching, I know that they're going to be encouraged to do the very thing that God's put in their heart. So thank you both so much. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing.
Thank you, Cindy.
Oh my goodness. And I just have to say,
you.
your husband is crazy. Okay. He just said, can I get her phone number? No.
Bring me back some ice cream and we'll talk about it.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, thank you so much, Robin. We just had another great show tonight. We always just love all the really good feedback. And then Justin also showing some love to both Heather and Amanda. So thank you, ladies, both so much. Tonight was truly a rich night, but God is really speaking loud and clear that we need to all step into what he's called us to do. So thank you for being a part of helping communicate that message. And please be sure to visit the Fellowship Market and go shopping at Altogether Lovely Art, as well as Arise and Shine. All right, ladies, have a good one.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Well, what a powerful night. I mean, truly tonight was wrapped up with powerhouses and so much fun. And I pray, my heart is that each one of you, there's always something that we're all going through. And so, we hear things, we receive things a little differently. And that's why we like to have more than just one special guest, because it's like, oh, that one, what that person said really, really stuck with me. For me, I feel like all four tonight specifically, I wish I was just sitting and writing down because there were some things I was like, oh, that's so good. So thank you from the bottom of our heart for joining us tonight. If you're not yet subscribing to us, do that. Share our show, YouTube. We are A New Thing Live on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. We are A New Thing A New Thing .live. And then on Facebook, we are A New Thing .live as well. And then, we're here for you. So we're in your corner. And we talked about two are better than one. If any of you are feeling just isolated, lonely, scared, intimidated, all of the above, email us, hello@anewthinglive.com. We do pray for those of you that write in, the direct messages, the DMs that we're getting. We do. Our team loves you, and we do this for you. And so we're here for you. And so anyway, enough. All that said, I'm trying to wrap up by 9 o'clock. It's already 9:03, so I missed it by 3 minutes. But hey, next week it'll be under 2 hours. I promise. I promise. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Remember, there's always a new thing that is waiting just for you, not anybody else, but just for you. So have your heart open this week. Be open to hear what God wants to say to you, and be open to what he wants to do in your life. Don't forget to follow all of our special guests tonight: Victoria Hernandez, Amanda, Clement, Heather Bray, and Francesca Miranda. We just had a wonderful, wonderful group of women tonight. Girl bosses brought it tonight. So do have a wonderful week. Mark your calendars for next Monday night. Set your alarm. Have a fantastic week, and I'll see you next Monday night on A New Thing Live.
Are you ready? Hey, help us get the word out about our new show. Subscribe today, right now, to A New Thing Live.